morning, I'm Prarambha, Dahal. Let's begin with the main stories. National Assembly election being held. 51 candidates in the fray for 19 seats. Result of the election to be made public today itself. Posh Shukla Purnima marks the beginning of Swasthani Brata or fasting and worshipping of Madhav Narayan to continue until Magh Shukla Purnima. Ukraine accuses Russia of deliberately jeopardizing lives of prisoners of war after Moscow said Kiev had downed a military plane with 65 prisoners of war on board. And Liverpool see a Fulham in aggregate to secure their spot in the English Football League Cup final to take on Chelsea in the tournament decider. Election for the National Assembly is underway with voting in progress from 9 a.m. until 3 this afternoon. A total of 51 candidates are competing for 19 seats at the National Assembly. According to the Election Commission, all preparations for the election being held in headquarters of all 7 provinces were completed yesterday. 2 voting centers have been set in each voting stations of the province headquarters. Province Assembly members, rural municipality chair and deputy chair, and municipality mayors and deputy mayors are voting in the election. A total of 2,047 voters, including 549 province assembly members and 1,498 from the local levels, that are 753 in numbers across the country, are voting in the election. Weight of the province assembly members has been set at 53, while that of the local levels is 19. Of the 19 seats at the National Assembly, it is being held for 2 each in Koshi and Mhodesh, with 4 in Bagmati, 3 each in Gandaki, Karnali and Sudur Paschim, and 2 in Lumbini. Election is being held on the basis of the constitutional provision, which requires holding the election 35 days before the end of the term of the National Assembly members. The ruling coalition has fielded its candidates on the basis of consensus, while CPN-UML and Rashtriya Prajatantra Party have collaborated in Koshi province. Today is Posh Shukla Purnima, which marks the beginning of Swasthani Brata or fasting and worshipping of Madhav Narayan. Sri Swasthani fasting will continue until Magh Shukla Purnima. Based on the traditions, Nepalis, mostly Hindu women, observe the festival by worshipping goddess Swasthani while fasting and reading the holy book Swasthani, which narrates the stories of goddess Swasthani and god Shiva, among other deities. Devotees, married and unmarried, take a holy bath to begin with the rituals and wear clean clothes, trim nails and perform worship rituals in the morning, thereafter reading out the stories throughout the month. Commission for the Investigation of Abuse of Authority (CIAA) has held erstwhile Executive Director of Nepal Telecom Sunil Paudel and then Director of Security Printing Center Bikal Paudel. Both of them have been alleged of corruption. Commission for the Investigation of Abuse of Authority had filed cases against individuals, including Sunil Paudel, on 2nd of October last year. The anti-graft body had also filed a case against Bikal Paudel. Both Sunil and Bikal were suspended after the cases were registered. However, after the cases were filed, the 2 were also investigated for suspected involvement in irregularities related to public properties, abuse of resources of programs, and depositing funds abroad. A team of the CIAA has arrested both of them and has also confiscated documents from their residence in Shantinagar and Mandikhatar. Cases against Bikal and Sunil held by the CIAA are in progress also at the special court. Sunil has been alleged of opening a foreign currency account in a foreign bank without the approval of the Nepal Rashtra Bank and receiving appointment as an international consultant while holding a position in government service in Nepal. In case of Bikal, the anti-graft body has claimed that he had received a permanent residency of the United States of America while in government service. The CIA has said that they were held to avoid the possibility of escaping and destroying evidence. The Executive Director of Security Printing Center Bikal and Nepal Telecom Sunil were actively involved in procurement for each contracts of Nepal Telecom and Nepal Telecommunications Authority, among other departments. An audio tape of then Minister for Communication and Information Technology Gokul Baskota was made public on the day Bikal was interrogated by the Public Accounts Committee of the House of Representatives regarding irregularities in procurement of equipment for security press on February 20, 2020. 57th report of the Auditor General had also identified irregularities in expenditure of 357.4 million rupees without a master plan when Podal was the Executive Director of Security Printing Center. The report notes that more than 17 million rupees was spent without preparing required physical infrastructures. The Department of Transport Management is currently investigating around 100,000 licenses that were possibly forged. Several cases have been reported where the license numbers of people who left for abroad have been stolen. As few individuals returned to the country and went to renew their licenses, they understood that their license number had been used under someone else's name, and they are also unable to recover their old license numbers. Meanwhile, the Transport Management Office in Lalitpur Sekantakuna says their license numbers were scrapped after some suspicions. The department in recent time has also scrapped around 29,000 licenses for being fake and has put 72,000 others in the radar. In this scenario, the Central Investigation Bureau of Nepal Police and the Commission for the Investigation of Abuse of Authority have also shown some interest on the issue. The department has said the highest number of fake licenses were found in Lumbini and Gandaki province. A special committee formed by the department to probe into the matter has concluded that fake licenses could have been made when the system transitioned from papers or documents to computers. Discussions have begun regarding the applicants after 43 applications were filed for the vacant position of the Vice Chancellor at the Tribhuvan University. The Vice Chancellor Recommendation Committee, chaired by Minister for Education Ashok Kumar Rai, had created criteria and procedures before calling for applications. After the applications were called, Acting Vice Chancellor of the Tribhuvan University, along with officiating and former Vice Chancellors of other universities, have also submitted their applications. Of the total received applications, 2 are women, 2 are indigenous nationalities, and 3 from Madhes, while most of them are professors. However, Nepali professors employed at foreign universities have not applied for the position. The position of Vice Chancellor of the Tribhuvan University has remained vacant for the past 3 months. The recommendation committee is to select 15 applicants in the first phase. Those 15 will then be asked to present their work plan and will be interviewed, after which the committee will recommend 3 names, from whom the government will appoint one as the new Vice Chancellor of the TU. It is now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
The question is, which qualification must be assigned the highest priority while appointing the Vice Chancellor at TU? Your options are A. Experience, B. Plan, C. Managerial capabilities. Voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And now, before we wrap up, here's a look into the top stories one more time. National Assembly election underway. 51 candidates in the fray for 19 seats. Result of the election to be made public today itself. Posh Shukla Purnima marks the beginning of Swasthani Bratha, or fasting and worshipping of Madhav Narayan, to continue until Magh Shukla Purnima. Ukraine accuses Russia of deliberately jeopardizing lives of prisoners of war after Moscow said Kiev had downed a military plane with 65 prisoners of war, 6 crew and 3 escorts on board. And Liverpool see Fulham in aggregate to secure their spot in the English Football League Cup final to take on Chelsea in the tournament decider. That is all for the moment. Our next English bulletin airs at 6 p.m. We'll now be taking you to the live coverage of the National Assembly election. Thank you for staying with us. Have a beautiful day ahead.